Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll talk about the GitHub. So how we can send your application, whatever you have built, to your GitHub repository. So later in others case, whenever you need it, you can directly get that details or get that application from GitHub itself, or you can store that to GitHub and other person can work from that GitHub. Okay, so let's start. So in last few sessions, we are talking about the hospital management, right? So I am going to export or I am going to put that hospital management application to the Git repository. Okay. So let's go back to that studio and open that hospital management. So this is your studio applications. Once you click that, you will see all these application whichever is there. I'm selecting that hospital management again, and these are the files we have created last few days during our application development training, right? So I'd suggest that if you have not watched my application development training, please go and watch that. This is just a continuation part of that. So you can see these have a one in the top source control. Okay, so using the source control we can put that data to any of this git repository. Okay, so click on to the link git link to source control. You have two options, one is the http, another is the ssh. Today I'll show you that how you can store into the https. So first of all, you need to put your git URL here. Here you need to mention the branch, for which branch you want to post, either in a master branch or any other branch. And then here you need to put the credential. Okay. So let's go back to the GitHub first of all. So you can see this is my GitHub repository. Here you need to be first create a repository here. Okay, so you can see already there are many git repository I have created. So let's create one new repository called hospital management. So every time you put the repository name, it will check the uniqueness. So is it available for in the same name, it is already available or not, okay, in your applications. Okay, and then you need to click the create repository. So once you click the create, so a repository will be created, and then you can see this is your git repository basically, and this is the link. Okay, so anyone who have this, they, as it is a public repository, anyone who have access in this, they can be create a branch for your git. So now collect this git, and then you have to go back to this your application here, and then here you need to create a credential for your git repository, right? So go to the credentials. Okay, and under this credential I already created one basically GitHub. Here you can see one credential here. So this is my username and password by which I can log into the Git repository. So you need to put your username and password here and make sure that it is active, and make sure that this credential or this user have actually read and write access to this repository, hospital repository. So I'll just show that how we can create a authentications here. So if you go back and click the new, there will be many types of credentials like API key credential, AWS credentials, all those stuffs. So these credentials are being used for different purpose, right? So these are the basically your interpreter. Okay. So if you are doing the SSH, you should select that Windows credentials, okay? But for the discovery or API authentication, you should select that based on that. So if you are using the SSH, you can select the SSH credential here. So for our case, we should select the basic auth credentials. Okay, and here in the basic auth credential, you need to put the name, username, password, and definitely it should have actives. Okay, so I just show you that I have created that one. So I am going to use this credential in my repository to send the data from ServiceNow to okay. So now copy this link and go back to your studio application and put in the URL. Here is the branch. Branch means one sections have multiple branch, right? So if I go to this Git, right, and I will be able to see what all branches we have. Let's see. So as I created this Git recently, so there is no branch, but normally a Git, when you upload that, there is a branch called master branch. Okay, so I can put this name, this instance name, so this will be create a branch, or else I can type a main or master. So by master we can post to that Git. Okay, now here is the things you need to select the credential. Okay, so our case I am selecting the GitHub credential because this GitHub credentials have my username password that is I am using, and then here is the comments. I am putting that start. Okay, and so once I click the link to source control, it will be posted all the data to the GitHub. Okay, so let's go back to the let's wait for the completion, and then say it is successfully posted to the Git. So now if I go back and refresh that, you can see the branch is right now is master branch right now, and there is all the that commitment I have put here and store all these applications, this whole application. Okay, so now if you change any modification, if you do any modification, you can just go back to that. Suppose I am just making deactivate this one, right, these things. Just I have deactivated this UI policy, whatever the things. Now I want to upload this value, this data to again my GitHub, right? So this is my recent change, which is not posted to my Git, right? So what you can do, you can click the source control and click the commit changes. Once you click the commit changes, you can see that there is a only one file which is recently make difference, right? So this is the only file which needs to be only commit. So or else if you check, go back and roles and deactivate these roles, or maybe what we can do, update this name, right? I just update this name too. And now if I go back and source control and commit changes, you will be able to see there will be potentially two value, two data which can be committed compare as comparing with the before one, right? So whenever you can select all this data you want to commit, or you can just select only one which can commit. Okay, also you can click the compare, which can also compare the data that last so you can see here it was active true, and right now you are making the active false. That version you want to publish to your Git. Okay, so I will select that the only the make read only and click continue, and here is my commitment comments. So UI policy update. Okay, and once I click the commit file, you can see that in the bracket it is showing how many file is getting commit. So once I click the commit file, it will be committed in my Git. So 67%. So the file is committed in Git. If I refresh to Git, so you can see the updated one showing that UI policy committed, and this is the checksum UI policy committed. So initially I started with the start commitment, and then I have put the UI policy update. Okay. So that's how, again, if I go back to the source control and commit the changes, now I should be able to see only one data that should be commit to the Git, because the UI policy I already committed, right? So I can again commit it as many as time I want. Okay, basically when you building the application gradually, you can go back and update one by one. So in other person who, as you make this is the public, right? So other person can create a branch of this repository, and then they can also start working on or start making changes on their repository. They can clone this repository and work on that. So thank you very much. We'll talk to our in next sessions.